tell us about your experience with Nancy.
My experience with Nancy, I started in real estate back in 2005. It was a different time back then, and Nancy had me come into her office and gave me some straightforward insights. Am I talking?
Yeah, you're talking right here to me.
I
Yep.
apologize.
No, it's
Okay,
okay.
I didn't mean to.
Sorry, I didn't make that
okay.
clear.
I,
Yeah,
I,
you'll
I often,
address me.
I
Yeah,
might ask you a question or two, but always look at
but always address me. Yep.
You okay? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And we'll continue on, and I'll because I know you can edit here.
That's fine.
Okay, but I found myself for a second. I was actually looking at the ground, and I don't want to do that. So the question was, what is your experience with Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
So my first experience with Nancy was back in 2005 when I was a licensed agent. She was the manager in the office, and she had me come into her office, and she gave me a few words of wisdom. The first one was, if you want to make honey, you have to be around the beehive. So it gave me the mindset of always being around the office, and today I'm still always work out of the office. But over the last 13 years or so, she's given me countless insights because she's gotten to know me better and better and better. And I admit some of my experiences with her have not been all that positive, because I'll leave one of our sessions and I'm very frustrated, or I may not like her all that much at that moment, but she said all the things that I needed to hear and not necessarily what I wanted to hear. So she, knowing that she has my best interest at heart, they've all been positive experiences, even though the short-term ones I may have been frustrated with.
Why have you decided to keep it coaching as you're a successful agent?
That's a great question. I was speaking with somebody not too long ago, and they said, why are you still having Nancy coach you today? There's so many other people that you could see, or look at how many homes you're selling. You don't need this. And I completely disagree. I see Nancy regularly once a month, and she holds me accountable. We sit across from each other for 90 minutes in our sessions, and we talk about what's working and what's not working, and together we'll brainstorm some solutions. And I don't need her to be tech savvy, and I don't need her to have the solutions for me. I just need that sounding board that of somebody that has knowledge of the industry, knowledge of me, that I can share. Here's my problems, and together we'll come up with a solution. Then when I see her the following month, she knows exactly where I stood, and she's the one that'll hold me accountable. So to answer the question in a one-word answer, accountability. That's the reason why I still see Nancy today.
You mentioned like you can use other products or services, but you stay with Nancy. What is it about Nancy that is unique compared to something else that you could pay to use, or somebody else outside of that?
What's unique about Nancy? I'll tell you this. I think if you polled 100 people the same question, they would say her style of communication. Nancy doesn't pull any punches. She's going to be very straightforward and honest about where her thoughts and feelings and ideas are. So that's one of the reasons why I still stay with her, and what's unique about her is she gets right to the heart of it. And when she was a very, very successful real estate agent back in the day, what made her successful was her style of communication. And for those reasons, technologies will come and go, fads will come and go, but the real value of what we do is that ability to get face-to-face, belly-to-belly with our clients and build trust, make the sale, get it done. And Nancy was a top producing agent in this industry before cell phones, before GPSs, before the internet, before all of these tools and programs we have at our disposal. She knew how to do this with who's sitting in the front seat versus the back, who's walking in the door first. And there was all those insights that you can't learn in a book today that I've learned from Nancy.
So she has some insights from her experience and the things that she's taught you that maybe not anybody else would know or can impart to you to kind of help you get better.
Correct. I'm not sure how to exactly answer that.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So how has working with the coach helped your business?
When I meet with Nancy, it's not about I want to sell 2 more houses this month or 4 more houses this year. My goals with Nancy are really more about life balance. So therefore, my goal wasn't necessarily to sell more homes. It was to sell the same amount of homes and enjoy life a little bit more. So since that has taken place, and we had those clear goals and clear expectations, it's worked out well. I'm loving life. And I owe a lot of that to Nancy. If I think of the great mentors in my life, I've had 3 of them, and Nancy's one of those 3, and the countless lessons that she shared with me. So at this stage of being coached, it's not because I want to sell 2 more homes or $20,000 more money. It's, how can I be home by 5 o'clock? How can I enjoy a Saturday afternoon with the dogs at the park? And Nancy's taught me how to get to that level.
She's helped you, would you say, like, she's helped you figure out your own goals kind of thing? It's not necessarily like it's goal, you guys work on goals together?
Correct.
So could you talk a little bit about that? Like, so you went in and said, Nancy, I want to do what?
When Nancy and I first started the formal coaching session, which was over the last few years, once again, before coaching was a thing or a term, she's been coaching me since the start of my career. But since I've actually been part of the program, at our first meeting, it was, what do we want to get out of this? Let's set some clear expectations. So I expressed to her, Nancy, I don't need you to teach me how to do another open house, nor do I need you to help me get my bottom line a little bit higher. My goals are, how can I enjoy life? What can we do? So she's helped me with bringing assistance on and how to properly structure that. She's helped me with making sure I create and make my personal goals. So I think the first thing she asked me when we get together once a month is, did you have date night? Did you go out to dinner? And we're 20 minutes into our coaching session before we actually talk real estate business, because it's not all about how many houses you can sell, and that's what I get out of my coaching with Nancy. If I was to leave this industry and do anything else for a living, I'd still continue to be coached by Nancy, because it's not proprietary to real estate. Those life lessons can be applied everywhere.
What is, if you had to like sum up Nancy in a sentence, what would you say? How would you describe her? I know that's hard, but how would you describe her to somebody else?
If I had to sum up Nancy in a sentence, she's a ball of fire, enthusiasm, that has a keen eye for reading people and giving them feedback on what they. Nah, that's a run-on sentence. But
Grammar police.
yeah. But if I was to summarize Nancy, as I remember the first time I introduced Nancy to my father, and my father said, "Who is this woman?" I said, "Dad, she's really an amazing woman. She's a fireball of enthusiasm." And she has this keen ability to just read people and know what they need and share that with them. And then I did share with my father that he's one of those 3 mentors. She's one of them also. That she's changed my life. I owe my success today to all of the countless life lessons I learned from Nancy Matthews. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that little ending bit there.
Yeah, I know.
That was good.
And I've heard you say that before, so.
Oh, well, that's and once again, I can share stories with you guys that we could never, ever, ever have on tape to be aired. And this is the amazing thing about Nancy, is that she knows her audience so well. She knows what to say to them to get them to be motivated, to get them to, they talk about you can bring a horse to water, you can't make it drink. She knows how to make the horse thirsty. So she knows what to do and what to say to get the horse to be thirsty so the horse takes the drink. So I remember early on in my career when I was having struggles and things just weren't clicking. She brought me into her office, she shut the door, she had a one-on-one with me and taught me things about myself that I just did not know. And it changed that particular meeting changed my career on how I communicated with clients moving forward. It was mind blowing, and of course none of it could be shared publicly. And in the society we live in, some people would frown upon her style of communication. However, Nancy knows her audience and knows what to say and how to say it without offending. So a lot of people that this frustrates me, that a lot of people that don't quite get Nancy haven't taken the time to really get to know her, or more importantly, let her get to know them. So yes, she is truly a legend in this industry. I can't begin to. I could tell story after story of so many things I learned from her that other people wouldn't think is a big deal, but were just huge.
If you were recommend, I guess answer this way, would you recommend Nancy to somebody else to be coach, and why would you recommend her?
I have recommended Nancy many times in the past, and I will continue to move forward. Oh, sorry, right here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I have recommended Nancy many times in the past. Recommended her to others to be coached. As I built my real estate team, I've not only introduced Nancy to the agents on my team, I've strongly urged them to start and continue coaching with her. That being said, it's not when Nancy gives counsel about what to say or how to say it, it's important that you get the message of what you're supposed to be doing and find your own voice, find your own words. So in vouching for her or recommending others to be coached by her, it would be to go into this with the open mind of understanding this woman was at the top of the industry before the tools and technologies. And even if she doesn't know anything about Instagram, I don't know anything about Instagram, but even if she doesn't know anything about what Instagram does, doesn't mean she's not good at what she does, doesn't mean she doesn't have the abilities. All of these tools and technologies today are just a tool to get you face-to-face, belly-to-belly. Nancy's the one that's going to teach you what to say and how to say it when you're together. Nancy's going to say when you see the husband and wife in the house and the wife does this type of gesture to the husband, this means she's fallen in love and she wants to move forward. You can't learn that elsewhere. So when I tell people to see her, I once again let them know to just give it a little bit of time. She can't do her job unless she gets to know you, and then once she gets to know you, it's really magical. She has really a keen insight.
I think, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, if you could say anything to anybody about Nancy, whether it's about her personally, coaching, or anything else, what would you say?
Okay.
Say whatever you want.
Since 2005, since I started my real estate career, and thinking about life-changing moments, I could say it's because Nancy recommended a particular book that I should read in the conversation we had about the book thereafter. I do remember, in fact, here's a personal story about Nancy. I do remember early in my career when things were really struggling for me, and I think in 2009 I sold like 7 homes for $700,000 in volume. It was just horrible. Nancy would take me to a restaurant across the street, and we'd have our coaching session, if you will. I was so poor that I couldn't even buy lunch, so she bought a German stacker that we would share, and when we would talk about that, she would go out of her way to bend over backwards to help anybody in need. And I was a recipient of that, and therefore have wanted to pay it forward with the many people that I've worked with over the years, that the lessons that I'm teaching them, I learned from Nancy Matthews. And I credit Nancy Matthews today because of many of those lessons, whether it be my style of communication or the analogies that I share, or that informal body language that you can't read in the book anywhere else. All of these I picked up from Nancy Matthews over the years.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good.
That's
I think
good.
we got it.